So I think that the audio is coming fine. So I think that we can really start this live coverage. I would say on time. So I think that the system is working at its best. Okay, friends. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Gianluca Masi speaking from Rome on the behalf of the Virtual Telescope Project. It's such a big pleasure and a privilege for me to be here because tonight we are sharing something quite rare, something absolutely not obvious to see, especially for non-astronomers. Well, this opportunity, which is a rare opportunity, is not an happy opportunity because we have been waiting for 4 months, more or less, for a Comet Atlas, and we hoped that this comet could really offer us a beautiful show up in the sky. There were good reasons to hope so, even if, when a comet is involved, predictions are always problematic. Anyway, there were some good reasons to believe that this comet could really put a nice show up there in the sky for the next May, but unfortunately, a few days ago, after some sentiments, I would say, we saw that the comet nucleus is actually no longer there. I would like to say it just disrupted, and in this way, I mean, the comet is basically failing, is dying basically, and we will have no bright comets in May. So this is not, I would say, an happy news, but we have to say the good also in this case. And I can say that we can see, despite, the delusion, we can see something rare, something not happening so often. So we are going to see what is happening. We will see this in real time thanks to the Virtual Telescope Project, and all this month, April, which is Global Astronomy Month, very special month to share the beauty of the night sky with all the people worldwide. Thanks to Astronomers Without Borders, my friends, and I belong as a national coordinator for Italy to Astronomers Without Borders, and it's a pleasure for me to be live with this topic, very special one, in this special moment. So you are very welcome, and now I will, after just sending you my greetings and welcoming you on board, I'm very happy to start sharing with you live images from our telescope. Actually, I started showing the images before starting speaking because I really wanted that the images could reach you despite the silence. After all, out there in the universe, you have just silence. Just checking the microphone. I will be back with the audio in a couple or in less than 1 minute. Sorry. So friends, here we are. I had a cable to fix and now it's working perfectly. So again, we are really going to start this live feed covering a Comet C 2019 Y4, a comet we have been really hoping to see in a great way. And unfortunately, its health from a physical point of view is not the best, is not what we could actually hope. When this comet was discovered late last year, just looking at the orbit, it was possible to conclude that there was an opportunity for us, that this comet could become quite bright in the next spring, at least spring for us living in the north. And in May, there was an opportunity to have this comet quite bright in the sky. But how you know, if you are just an astronomer or you have experience with this field, with this science, comets are very, very peculiar objects, because every time you try to make a prediction, it looks like that the comet can hear you and behave exactly in the contrary. And when sometimes when you expect a comet to perform, you will be disappointed. And sometimes when a comet looks so not very special, it really change things, and you can be amazed by the show. How people say it is sometimes it is easier to bet on Earth than on comets, you know. And as David Levy told, comets are like cats, they have a tail and do whatever they like, and this is the case. Well, this comet, while approaching the sun, the potential show, at the beginning looked great, because its brightness started to increase quite quickly, and for us it was reason of joy, even if when a comet just start increasing brightness so fast, you have to be careful, or better, the comet should be careful, because you never know if that huge activity can reserve some surprise later. Anyway, when this comet started increasing brightness, we were basically happy, because after all, we were more or less 1 month and a bit more before the clue of the event, the clue of the apparition. And it has been amazing for us to track this comet from the times it was quite pale. And I will show you, for example, how this comet looked when I observed it for the first time in February. Look here, it was very small, but very clear. You can look here, very clear, bright condensation, and at that time, 21 of February, it was a very faint coma, this dusty cloud all around with the dusty fragments, particles. And then the comet started to approach and also becoming brighter and brighter. And more or less 20 days later, look how much the comet increased its luminosity. Here it is, just 20 days. It's a lot more. It's much more brighter than the image we just shared from February. And about 2 weeks later, even brighter. Look here. This image was just 24 of March, and it was perfectly in agreement with this amazing trend of brightness increasing, But something started to change early in April, when the comet showed to be fainter, no longer increasing, but it was falling in brightness. Here, for example, is an image I did, comparison image I did between images taken April 4 and April 6. Images have some notations helping you, I hope. And you can see on the right you have image from. Hope to be back. I apologize. Unfortunately, I arranged this live feed with a very short advice, and this is why I could not organize everything at the best. I apologize for this, but still I preferred to have you looking. Okay. Just checking that. Okay, friends. So I think this is the comet not happy. I'm talking this way about her. Maybe. We should be back now. I'm sorry, but as I was trying to tell, this event was scheduled on the very last minute, so I don't have the usual hardware I use for my live feed, but the importance and the opportunity was so huge that I decided to schedule this, even if under in less than ideal hardware conditions. But I think that we should be nice right now. Just checking that you are getting correct while images are now coming to you again in real time. So as I was just showing you a few images, just telling how the comet developed from very faint, and it was normal at the discovery time, and at some point it started increasing its brightness very fast, and that was surprising, but it can just happen with comets. And at that point we were really hoping that in a bit more than 1 month, since then the comet could be quite spectacular in the sky. But unfortunately, early in April, there were clear evidence that something was not working as we wanted, and I show it to you, these two images. All the images were taken by myself, and the image on the right, April 4, you can see, well, the comet was already much fainter than late March, at least you could still see very strong condensation. But on the image on the left, 2 days later, you can see that it was already weaker, the condensation. Not clear evidence of something strong and concentrated, but something quite spread. And that was clear evidence that the breakup happened and that there were actually announcements by astronomers reporting the same strange behavior. And I want to show you this image taken at the highest resolution possible that night, where you can easily see that in the head of the comet you really don't find any strong bright condensation. This is because the nucleus is now shattered, and there are no large, or at least very big pieces, okay friends, and this is why this comet is now basically dissolving. How beautiful has been to track this thing developing, and we really wanted to look at something very special, but well, we are seeing something very special actually, but not in the direction we really hoped, we really wanted. I must say that this comet, after all, had something to do with breakup, because this comet was very likely connected with the Great Comet of 1844. The orbits of both objects suggest there is the same parent body. Very likely both those comets were fragments of the same parent body. And so I want to say that the nucleus breakup was just part, of the genetic, signature of this comet. And as of now, coming back to the live images, what we are seeing now are images coming in this very moment from my telescope. And as you can see, the situation is getting worse and worse. And now if you look here, you can not see again any condensation. You can see there is a very broad, a bit brighter area here. Please understand that all these are stars. By the way, the comet is moving because it is orbiting around the sun, even if it is now a cloud of debris, very likely. And of course it is still obeying to the gravitational field. But while it is orbiting, the telescope is tracking it. This is why in this 3 minutes exposure, the stars are leaving this short trail. So this is a star, this is a star, all the other one are stars. This is where the nucleus was supposed to be in case of an healthy comet. But you can even see that there is here some structural feature that now, with the moon just rising, it is not so easy to locate. But I will try to adjust a few images I grabbed it earlier. This is why I started also the live feed earlier, because at least if you go back to the recorded video, you will see this feature much more easier. Look here, friends, this is an image I did combining a few images taken earlier. And look here, this kind of comma is clear evidence there is a fragment here, friends. And this is just an unprocessed image done just averaging 3 similar images, and it is clearly obvious that the original nucleus is no longer there. Very likely there are a few more smaller pieces, if any, or just clouds of even smaller debris, and this is why the comet is basically dying in its brightness, and it is very likely fading quite quickly. And we will track the final fate of this comet, which will be very, very different from what we hoped to see. But you know, you can hope, you cannot order anything to the comet. Let me see if I can do even better. Let's try to do this stuff in real time. What I'm doing here is going back to the images I've been collecting while waiting for the live feed to start. I will take a number of them, okay? Because if I combine, if I take the average or even more, let's try this. Okay. Let me add another one. Okay. What I'm doing now is using quite a number of images. There should be 17 images, and I will ask our system to make a special combination, median combination, rejecting all the extreme values, fluctuations, and random errors, and this should give us the purest image possible. I also asking the system to add the images taking the comet motion into account, so the combination will be very, very, very careful. This is something not easy to see performed live, by the way, and I'm happy that at least we could do this together now. It takes some time, and also because the screen you are seeing is a remote computer. The telescope Medio Observatory is about 100 kilometers far from Rome, where I live, and this is a quite old computer, but I have learned on my own experience that when a machine is just perfect for the duty it has to do, leave it, never change a computer if not necessary. And let me see what happened with this combination. Sorry, trying to just adjusting some parameters. And yes, you can see that there is this comma-like feature here, which is even more evident. Here it is. Look here how intriguing this image is, and I also have other images I have to work on with the higher resolution, where this feature is even more and clearly more evident. Let me try again this combination, this time making a less exotic combination. The average itself providing better signal to noise. Okay, again the combination will be performed after aligning all the images, taking into account the cometary motion. This is particularly important to do on the expected orbital motion, because the comet is lacking in its center condensation. Otherwise we could use that bright reference point of the comet itself to align images, but it is missing and you cannot use something not existing, you know. So the best thing to do, which is always a primary choice when working with the moving targets like comet, is using the orbit to properly and carefully align all the images. I think, again, sorry, my friends, okay. Just adding as much as possible. Let's stop here after all. Let's do the average this time, which is the average. You sum all the images and divide by the number of the images. I'm very sorry for me that this comet ended this way its story. Oh well, while this was amazing to see, I still preferred to have a bright comet, because in the North Hemisphere in particular we are really missing. Look here, this is a truly outstanding image, friends. You can easily see evidence of a fragment here. Let me try to adjust. And this is just brutal average, no further processing. This is quite an exceptional image, friends, just showing one of the fragments, at least here, in real time. I don't know if something like this was shared live with the world earlier. Very likely this is a world premiere, and I'm pleased and proud that this is happening thanks to the virtual telescope technology. How beautiful this image is. You can see perhaps a bit better. How clear is the evidence of this smaller component. I will stay with this look here, how clear it is. Wow, I must say that I'm excited by this site, by the opportunity I have to share this, reaching you at home, safely at home, I hope, facing this terrible coronavirus, and we can stay safe looking up and enjoying, as I told, the night sky. And I really hope that you can really see so well this feature, friends. Of course, if you go back to the telescope, we are still taking images. Now you see here a star apparently adding a feature. This is why sometimes when you have the images, many images of the same object, if you just make the average, you can do very bad things because you add features which are not connected to the object itself. If I use this image, for example, with a typical average, I will have evidence of that. This is why sometimes I prefer to use the media combination, because all the strange values are automatically rejected. It's a more advanced, but of course it has not the same signal to noise, and this is why sometimes, if you are sure that the image is not contaminated, perhaps the average is the best choice. Amazing, friends, that all this is happening now. And we are observing this together thanks to the Virtual Telescope project. Let me try to use even more images. While the moon is rising. Very bright moon, by the way. When the moon is so bright, typical astronomer sleeps, But as you can see, there is always something very special in the sky, which is well worth. This is another combination with much more images. Not sure it will be better because I saw that atmosphere turbulence increased. So perhaps the image I grabbed earlier have better details, but no, I don't know. Happy that despite the short time this now we should see some results soon. Just trying some numbers here. Oh. Let's enlarge these two. Of course, it is there. Let me close this and this. Okay. Of course, while the turbulence, that is the changes in the atmosphere, which can be more or less stable, and this of course is affecting the quality of the images, there is also the local evolution of these details, of these things. So, but I can see that the image on the left, using more images, is a bit blurred, and the one on the right is significantly better. So friends, I think that we finally really succeeded in something great, that is seeing Comet C. This Comet C 2019 Y4, while it is slowly fading, likely it is slowly dying. And you can really see how it is not possible at all that this comet will be the big comet we hoped, unfortunately. But at least it has been a truly interesting object to track, and after all, to share with our friends worldwide. So friends, I'm going to close this live feed, and I hope that it was for you a rewarding experience. And of course, I will keep an eye on this comet. We will track, we will follow up what will happen every clear night. And if you want to stay up to date, if you want to have all the news about this comet, perhaps the best way for you is to have a look periodically at the Virtual Telescope Project, or if you use Facebook, just to join the Virtual Telescope Project page on Facebook. We are also on Twitter, and it is up to you. But I think that we will be tracking this comet as much as possible. Let's wait for this other image coming. In 20 seconds, you see there is a countdown clearly. You are strongly invited to join the Virtual Telescope Project page on Facebook, which is the primary source to learn more about what is going on, what we are going to do. For example, the next scheduled event will be on April 28 for the potential hazardous asteroid 1998 OR2. And you are really invited to join that live too. Let me try to add, let me do one thing, please. Using the last 3 images just collected. Perhaps these 3 images are without any star contamination. Look here, and how the detail is likely showing again. Now the atmosphere is again stable. Now I'm doing another thing before closing. Now, of course, this bright star will give some interference, but in the upper part of the comet. So, friends, it has been such a pleasure for me to join, to be here, and I honestly hope that for you it was a rewarding time spent together with this comet. And I hope that you will want to come again, visiting our website and our social media for the next the next cosmic show. As I told you, after this event, which has been organized with short notice, because this happened and we scheduled the event without advertising, without taking care of the hardware. This is why at some point I had to restart. I apologize for this, but at least I did my best to bring this very special opportunity to everyone to enjoy something not easy to see all the time, all days. And that's all for me, and I hope you will have a very nice evening, a very nice day, wherever you are on this planet, and take care of yourself, because these are very, very complex times, and we have to be very careful for us and for our dears. And I hope that this will be fixed soon, so that we can go out there personally and look up and enjoy modern nature and the beauty of the universe where we live. That's all. Virtual Telescope Project, Gianluca Masi sends you my best and wish you the very best. Take care, keep looking at the stars.